We all know coal and gasoline pollute the planet and spew out emissions that create global warming. But in the rush to develop alternative green sources of energy, we may be overlooking the harm that these programs may do to the environment. And the latest in our series of in-depth reports from Taiwan's Penghu Island, where the government plans to build 11 huge wind plants, we investigate the environmental impact of wind turbines and look at a more fundamental problem that may threaten the feasibility of the whole project.
Pollution and smog are synonymous with oil and other fossil fuels, while wind power is the epitome of green energy. A 1 megawatt turbine in an annual average wind of 7 meters per second could turn out 7 megawatt hours. To make that energy with oil, you'd need 8,700 barrels, which would emit 5,000 tons of carbon dioxide, the equivalent of chopping down 360,000 trees. But is wind power really pollution-free?
那因为人家东北季风本来就大了啊，我是觉得应该是没有什么差。
Noise pollution is a problem. Modern technology has significantly reduced the sound of the blades, but the main complaint is the low hum.
The sound of a blade chopping through the air doesn't make a loud noise, but every time it turns, it makes a sound. So there is a constant low frequency.
The incessant throb of the turbine as it churns around can cause complaints. Most countries have regulations about how far turbines can be from residential areas. In England, the distance is at least 350 meters. But there is another problem.
If there are a lot of migratory birds, your wind plant will influence the birds. So how we choose these points for wind or solar power needs thorough assessment and evaluation.
Wind turbines do not appear with the wave of a wand, and solar panels cannot be conjured out of thin air. Every step of the construction process can affect migration routes and destroy natural habitats. And since wind is needed to produce the power, if the weather is calm, then a system with a high reliance on wind power may not be able to keep up with demand.
Now wind power makes up 33%, which for the whole power system is a very high proportion.
The peak production period is winter, Penghu's windy season, but summer tourist season is when demand is highest. Because it's not easy to store wind power, perhaps Penghu's excess energy needs to be sent to Taiwan's main island.
Without an undersea cable, there's no way to supply the power. Penghu can use up the power, so building an undersea cable is fundamental to development.
Imagine, in the summer high season, a 40-kilometer undersea cable could take Taiwan's power to Penghu. And in winter, Penghu's plentiful wind turbines could give it back to Taiwan. The government has a $550 million budget for an undersea cable.
After outsourcing, the schedule will have to be worked out. So Taipower says a conservative deadline is the year 2016. Since 2010, we started to hear about an undersea cable. Now we hear 2014, and then 2016. Who knows when it will happen?
To put it bluntly, the undersea cable is Penghu's hope for exporting electricity. Before we all jump on the wind energy bandwagon, some thought has to be given to all the eventualities before clean and profitable power becomes a reality.